Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, first of two matchups in a row against the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento, the Cowtown. And I watched a few highlights of the Sacramento Kings, about four of them. And their last game, they played against the Denver Nuggets, which was really interesting because they had a 10-point lead with like 3 minutes to go and blew it. They literally blew that. Um, Denver just kind of came in there and took care of business. Jokic went for a big game, that kind of thing. Down the stretch, it was a lot of big shots hit by both sides. So that was one of the bigger games of the year, one of the more premier games of the season. I encourage people to check highlights out of that. Sacramento's had an event every night. Every night has been something. Um, the game before that, they played against the New Orleans Pelicans, and they had a really tight game, the lowest scoring game they've had of the four that I watched. And it came down to DeJounte Murray doing some head scratching bullcrap down the stretch of that game instead of getting the ball to CJ McCollum, who had been hot all quarter. He threw up. It was one of the most ridiculous I'm gonna do it myself plays I've ever seen. Like literally, you watch highlights of him in the final closing seconds, and you would not want to trade for DeJounte Murray. And I've seen DeJounte Murray hit big shots down the stretch of games. He had two buzzer beaters last year during the trade season, so it's not like I don't think he could play or something like that. But I had never seen him do anything that stupid. I've never seen him do anything like that. I mean, he was blatantly refusing to pass the ball and being locked up by a Sacramento defender and just threw the ball up in the air, threw it off his leg, and time expired. It was comical, absolutely comical. So that was the story there. They won that game, of course. The game before that, they played against the Utah Jazz, dropped 140 points on the Utah Jazz. Newly acquired Doug McBuckets hit six threes, and so did Kevin Herter. So they just rained threes all down on top of the Utah Jazz in a very major way. And in the game before that, they dropped 140 points on the San Antonio Spurs, and they were hot as well. If I'm not mistaken, they got hot in the fourth quarter from behind the arc and started raining threes all down on the Spurs. So the three ball was really falling in both of those games, and we really do have to be very careful with the Sacramento Kings team, who's been shooting the ball extremely well and with a lot of efficiency, a lot of volume, rather. So that's something that needs to start this kind of conversation off. They really do have some guys healthy right now that shoot the ball very well. Malik Monk, Kevin Herter, Doug McBuckets, Keegan Murray. They shoot, shoot. So we need to be aware of that, especially in their building. Obviously, you got to deal with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, two of the best players out there. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think we have anybody who could stay in front of him, although I will say that Max Christie's been doing a good job, and so has Cam Reddish of kind of giving us someone who could be a point of attack defenders at the guard spot. So it's going to be their call to try to guard Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox specifically over the next two games. And of course, it's noteworthy that we see the Sacramento Kings three times between now and the 28th, which is like ridiculous, basically. We're going to play both of these games in Sacramento. Tonight's, of course, at 7 p.m. Saturday's, of course, at 3 p.m., for which I'm going to be suit shopping. So I'm probably not going to have anything for you in that game, although we'll see. But I don't think I'll be available for that one or the Detroit game. So I just want people to know that ahead of time. But we'll give it a shot. We'll try to put some commentary on both of those games one way or another. But yeah, man, that's really what it is. So this Sacramento Kings matchup is the second of four. We did play them early in the season and got a victory there, which was us getting over the hump against Sabonis, for which AD had never beaten Sabonis in his entire career. It's like 0-12 or something like that. So we're now 1-12. Hopefully we can continue the streak of winning against this particular player, because Lord knows he has had Anthony Davis' number. Anthony Davis coming off a 40-point game against the Memphis Grizzlies, the first good team we've beaten in a million years. So hopefully we can continue that momentum as well. Our defense has been much better, so we're hopeful that could kind of carry over into this matchup too. You know, Memphis was a high-powered offense. We held them under their average. This is also a high-powered offense, so we need to hold them under theirs. But it's a little different because you're dealing with guys like DeMar DeRozan. It's a lot of depth on the Sacramento Kings team. Keegan Murray, mid-range jumpers, high-powered athletes like Malik and De'Aaron Fox. They got a lot of different things they can throw at you offensively. And then they got a guy like Keon Ellis on the defensive side, who's their point of attack defender, who's very, very talented, um, who could also ring together some three-point shots as well. So they got a lot, man. They got a guy by the name of O. Robinson. I believe it's Orlando Robinson from Miami. He's now with Sacramento. They've been running him at the center position a little bit. So that's more size to take into account offensive rebounds, shot blocking, stuff like that. So I don't know if they're going to use him too much or not, but we are where he's there since we're so thin at the center position. Um, they're really healthy, man. The only player they're really missing is Carter, their rookie. He's been out since the preseason, so everybody else is pretty much good to go. You do have Demonis, Malik, and Keegan as game time decisions, but I'd have very little doubt that they will play tonight. And that's really what it comes down to. The Sacramento Kings team is playing well. They are coming off a tough loss at home against the Denver Nuggets. One of their fans brought out the cowbells in that game, so I don't know if that's going to be something they continue to do. I hope not. I'm one of those people that remember the cowbell eras with Sacramento and the Lakers of the Kobe and Shaq days, and it was very gratifying to beat them during that era, and I'm sure it was fun for Denver to beat them too when they're ringing that crap off. So hopefully they don't bring that to this era. We really don't miss that at all. But yeah, man, that's really what it is, man. The Sacramento Kings, extremely talented basketball team. They got a lot of talent, especially at the top of their roster. Their starting lineup is pretty dang all-star-y with, Sabonis and DeRozan and Fox and Murray and Monk. Those guys are really good. And then with Kevin Huerter starting to find himself over the last couple of games, I'd imagine he's going to have a big role in this game tonight as well. Very important player, shooting the ball, can also do some things, stealing the ball, for which we don't want to underestimate with the Sacramento Kings team. Between Ellis and Murray, it's a bonus. Fox, they can get steals. They're not a good defensive team, but they are sure good at that particular defensive stat. So we need to be very careful with them and try not to turn the ball over very much. So that's really what it's about. Our turnovers have not been good as of late after starting the season off very well. So we would be wise to not be lackadaisical tonight, passing the rock. That's something we need to be very careful with. So, and of course in the next game, for which we'll see the same team. And so, yeah, that's really what it is, man. Sacramento, we're going to be there for the next 3 days as a team. Get comfy out there because you're going to be there. And that's really what it comes down to. Of course, we really appreciate what we've been seeing from Anthony Davis in the last one, 40 points. LeBron James returned 18 points and 8 assists in that game as well against Memphis. So, kind of getting some settling into our guys returning. I ain't saying we're healthy because we still out of some big men. Christian Wood, Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, all out. But, what we're used to having is coming back into the fold. That's kind of what it comes down to. And we're pretty excited about just how we've looked over the last 3 games, winning 2 of our last 3 games, and playing good defense in all 3 of them, arguably. I could argue we played good defense in the game we lost against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where we couldn't hit a shot. But against Portland, our defense really started picking up, and then of course the rest that we took on after that game for about 5 days off. And of course now we haven't played, if I'm not mistaken, since Sunday against Memphis. So today is Thursday. We've had some days off, so hopefully that's allowed us to rest a little bit, shake off the cold, in regards to certain players being kind of lethargic, and hopefully it doesn't have a reverse effect with us playing so few games over the last, say, 12 days, that has us further rusty like we were going into Minnesota. So that's really what I'm hopeful won't be the case. But we're gonna know the Sacramento Kings team a lot better than we'd like to. They do have fast-footed players and 3-point shooters and mid-range shooters and stuff like that. We should be able to attack them offensively because their defense is where their weakness basically is. But like I said, they have some ability there too. But they're looking to jack up shots. That's really what it comes down to. They're going to be pushing the line from everywhere, all over the court, offensively. And, you just don't want to leave any of their shooters open. Herter, Murray, Malik, they're gonna shoot, man. They're gonna shoot in the half court. They're gonna shoot in transition. So just be ready for the three ball, and hopefully it doesn't fall for them. Because if it's a hot night, they're going for 140. That's just what it is. It's one of the best offenses out there, and they have plenty of guys who could do things down the stretch too. Two of the best fourth quarter players in the game, and De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan are on this team. It's just a matter of time before they figure out uh, that they can win close games every night because of those two alone. And of course, Sabonis was a triple-double threat at all times, one of the best centers in basketball. He's going to have his way out there at times. Anthony Davis has had a lot of trouble with this guy, as we've already mentioned. I don't know that we've overcome that fully just because we won one game against him. Hopefully, we can push the line against the guy and put him in a position to have to shake our hand after a loss instead of lighting a beam in that building, because that is really what Sacramento is hoping to do two games in a row. So, yeah, no beam, man. We gotta shut them down in that regard. We do not want to see them succeed tonight. So, yeah, man, get cozy, everybody. This is almost like a playoff series, man. We're gonna see Sacramento and then see them again. We'll play Detroit and Golden State on Christmas, and then we'll see them again coming into our building, which will complete this season series against the Sacramento Kings. I personally want to win all of these games. Lord knows we've lost enough to this team over the last several years, so winning the season series would be a big deal. And since we're getting so many looks at them, they're the only team we've had to focus in on over the last week of rest. We should be as prepared to play this team as anybody we've ran into since JJ's been our coach. Uh, does that mean we can stop everything they got thrown at us? I don't know. I don't think so, because De'Aaron Fox is still somebody much faster than anybody we got, and Malik Monk doesn't miss much. But at the end of the day, we should be able to be walking in here with a very confident game plan that should have been well thought out. And so that's my expectation for these next two matchups against this same ball club. But yeah, man, I don't really have too much to say. Sacramento's, that kind of sums up everything. Two blowouts against not so good teams. And then going into New Orleans was also a terrible team, and then watching DeJounte stumbling over himself, being selfish, and then them going into Denver and blowing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's really what it was. That's kind of what it's been for them. A lot of scoring, an event every night, and if you let them get hot, they're gonna blow you out. That three-point shot, that Herter situation, McDermott really fits in very well, and that just creates even more spacing for Sabonis and DeRozan, who don't really shoot out there that much. But I will say DeRozan's three-point shot was falling against the Spurs, his old team. He definitely had a few of those things falling, and so we have to be careful there. They did give up a lot of three-point shots. I think that was noteworthy. Julian Shinpenny had like 6 of them career high against them, so it didn't stop them from blowing them out. But maybe you can attack their perimeter defense could be better. That's what I took from that situation. So yeah, man, that's really what it is. That's what's going on, man. We're gonna see this team twice. It's gonna be 3 times actually, but twice in a row, same building. Tonight we're gonna be wearing yellow. They're gonna be wearing their purple jerseys. I don't know what the floor look like. One of them purple floors they got. I think they got a black lettered floor, and I think they have a purple traditional floor. I think we'll probably see the purple traditional one. And I don't know if they'll go to their city colors on Saturday. No clue. But they do have like some red, blue, and something. Hopefully they wear those. It'll feel like we're in an entirely different building on Saturday. So, not important, but that's kind of what it is. We will be seeing the Kings in a row, twice in a row in the same building. So, yeah, man, everyone, enjoy the game, 7 p.m. Golden One Center. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.